And to connect all these topics is something which we have to look into. The increased connectivity, of course, yeah? Which also allow new business models. So these are our growth areas. Based on these trends, we look into areas which is circular, like digital services or circular economy. We looked into areas which is in motion, like living in transit, or integrated logistics. And we look into individual, for example, learning society, health, well-being, and intelligent customization. We think these are the areas of future growth. So now, how do we get into these areas? So this is something which we say based on those trends. These are those bubbles of growth we believe there is potential. So living in transit, of course, what I just mentioned, urbanization, density, that's something where people live where they are and while they are also on the move. People are traveling much more than before. That creates more needs and changes to their lives than before. Integrated logistics, of course, the flow of goods is an issue. We produce trucks. And how is the future going to be with integrated logistics? I'm not sure if you're aware, for example, about 3D printing. 3D printing, yeah. So if you look into the website of DHL for 2050, nowadays the printers, what they can do, and they can do in the future will be amazing. It's like a new revolution, 3D printing, right? So DHL has a vision in future. You don't go to where is it? IKEA in Nanjing Nonglu to pick up your Billy cabinet or your you go to your local printer, regional printer, and you print your chair in the printer. Yeah, I mean, you can, now the printer will become much more sophisticated. They are able to use different materials to print. So DHL, for example, says in 2050, people will not ask when you order Amazon to bring it home, you just go to your local printer at home, or if it's bigger, to the regional printer. And DHL business case will be to bring material to those printers. That will be their focus. Not to bring the goods to the people, but to bring them to fill up those local printers. That's the division, a little bit of vision of DHL 2050. I think very interesting. Learning society, of course. We just see the availability of information, of education. I think this is one of your areas, right? Yeah, what is this in the future? And the accessibility of education is now much easier through the internet and the media and the connectivity, smartphones. Yeah, how many courses can do online? You don't have to go to the university perhaps anymore. You can do it at home or at office or at whatever. I mean, the reach is much higher. Of course, health and well-being. I mean, if you've been to Beijing, you know what I'm talking about. The air pollution is very extreme. It's very serious. Yeah. Of course, with increasing urbanization, this of course will be a big challenge. And then, of course, still people want to have intelligent customization. They want to have something which is personal. Digital services I mentioned, and is of course with the whole connectivity and this is more or less something which is the base of many startups now. Many startups go into this whole area of digital services, providing the services digital. You do not need the middleman anymore. You can have now directly access to the source of information, right? You can cut out the middleman in banking, in insurance. even taxi, you don't have to call the taxi 101, you just go on a platform. So this digitalization is something which is very, very powerful now. And circular economy, we say, because of the scarcity of resources, men have to look into how to recycle topics. The recycling becomes more important. So at Daimler, we think about how much do we waste and how much actually we should recycle. And can we make a business out of that also, even? So some projects based on the topic of the organization, the need to set up business innovation, the growth areas, and here are some examples how we try to take the challenge of the urbanization, of the needs for mobility, the needs still to be mobile in a very crowded world.